I'm starting before people who are much more righteous than I in this movement. I'm very new to it. But I wanted to share, excuse me, let me make it louder. I wanted to share some thoughts about stepping in late and how it was so possible to step in somewhat fully. In the nuclear conversation, I feel that I have just one job, and I really try to keep it simple, writing about peace activists. And I came to it by being plugged in the middle of them. In the 2016 election, as you can imagine, I was upset. So were a couple of other people, or so I'm told. And this 2016 presidential election, I don't name the person who prevailed in that contest, but I was so upset that I decided to sell my house and do something different. And an RSCJ sister suggested to me that there were a group of RSCJ trying an experiment with religious and lay people in community. And so I called, and the next thing you know, I was on their doorstep. I was not on their mission. I was 58 years old and, lived in Georgetown, where I work at Georgetown University. Although I'm not rich, I certainly was not in need of the financial help they were providing to younger women in social work and social justice. But it turns out they valued my stability and the fact that I ended up opening a house for them and inviting some of the young women that were overflowing to the house. We lived 2 blocks from Megan Rice. I knew not who she was. And but I am a writer. I work with Georgetown faculty professionally to help them publish their research. And one night we were in the car on the way to the Catholic Worker, and Sister Diane said, "Good night, Megan." And I thought, well, that's an interesting way to pronounce a name. So she gave me her whole name, and I went home and Googled it. And lo and behold, there was this amazing story about Transform Now Plowshares. And there was also a book about her. And so I reached out, to find out why I couldn't get the copy of the book. And it turns out the author had dropped out, and they plopped it in my lap. I couldn't have been greener, but I knew something about sisters. I didn't know so much about nuclear disarmament. I'm going to shorten it up. Ended up going to the Vatican with Father Drew Christensen for a conference on nuclear disarmament in 2017. Ended up going to Hiroshima immediately after that. These were completely unconnected and just sort of tumbled in. To close my thoughts, the book is Transform Now Plowshares, and it's coming out in December. What I learned is that there's no such thing as an activist in Plowshares. It's group or nothing. It's very, very corporate, collegial, and that individuals, I don't want to say they don't exist, but it's a rare movement. They tend to be more collective. So the book expanded to become about all of them. And my great jewel in the book, I lived in Anne Montgomery House, and there's a whole chapter on Sister Anne Montgomery. Some of you may have known her, some of you may have protested with her. My final and closing thought will be this, and then I'll just jump in on Q&A. I will not make money because someone else went to jail. And so the money is all going to the Dorothy Day Catholic Worker in Washington, D.C. I think my goal is to make new activists, but I try not to preach in the book. I just try to show what people are doing. But if some more people pick up the torch, I will be absolutely thrilled. That's all my thoughts at the moment.